I can't deny, like, the community, it never sleeps, but
Yeah.
it's so much fun. And when, I got into blockchain like early 2017, 2016, 17, around that, just in time for a huge run. And, when we hit our first bear, it was the community that really stood out as, like, they don't sleep, they don't go anywhere, they don't fluctuate it with prices. Like, sure, sentiment might change here and there, but people are here, they're hungry, they want to be part of the future, they're excited about the technology. And even 2 years ago, like, you're still an early adopter, and the fact that you're on camera or you're making videos, posting content, and teaching, educating, and helping other people find that's my favorite thing to do in blockchain, is help people. And there's so much need in this world that blockchain can help. It's just incredible.
So much
so good for
potential.
you.
It's really lovely to see. And I think the communities, is well spread all over the world.
Absolutely.
So that makes, not sleeping, when you have like one corner of the world sleeping, you have the
24/7
stuff.
Absolutely.
And they're like,
it's like
super dedicated, which is really fantastic, because they're like all into it. They also like generally want to, like, get to know it, learn so much about it. And that's the best part, I'd say.
There's something for everybody. I mean, people are trying to change their lives. That's the bread and butter, is we're here for finance. I mean, everybody wants to change their life and retire early and work in tech and all these fun things. And one of the reasons that I built the ambassador program was so that I could provide an on-ramp to our community to get into blockchain. And, I pride myself on trying to help young junior skill set individuals apply those real world skills in a way that they never really understood they could through the ambassador program. Just taking real world skill sets, even something as simple as a bilingual individual that can translate. I mean, that's a powerful skill to help us evangelize and help with mass adoption. So it's changing every single industry. It's not just technology. It really is branching and touching upon every single industry in the globe. And as a result, it has something for everybody. So you could be a hardcore academic focused individual, or you could just be someone that loves games and NFTs. And it's like, you're still drawn to blockchain in the same fascinating way. It's really, really something.
Yeah, I agree. We should, like, take advantage of it, because, as you said, it's something for everyone. And, we have all kinds of projects that are, popping up, and, browsing through these. It really gives you the scale of all this, and, how cryptocurrencies are actually adopting the diversity of people by, making all the projects so diverse, which is just amazing, really.
Yeah, they're hungry to solve problems. And although many of these projects, they relive some of the mistakes we've made in history, history repeats itself, right? Like a lot of the financial focused projects, and we've got one that we're transitioning ourselves. Neutrino's transitioning from a stable coin into an index fund, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But this is exactly it. Like, projects are hungry to create change and solutions and real world applications that, I used to joke, like, 10 years ago, before the internet, we would have never, or not right before the internet, but actually I'm dating myself. 10 years ago is more like 20 years ago when I was a young man. But the internet allowed, well, let's just recap. 10 years ago, we would have never understood where the internet could have taken some of the apps that we use today, and some of the ride sharing apps, the delivery apps. Like, real time communication at our fingertips has created cyborgs, essentially. We are just evolved versions of ourselves because of technology, and I think we're at the same precipice with blockchain. I don't think we understand in 10 years where blockchain is going to be, because we're going to solve some fundamental issues that are holding back technology, and it's going to take us somewhere that, it's hard for us to even imagine. I think a few of us can imagine it, but even so, I think there's details of it that we're going to overlook, because it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and also the more we know about blockchain, or like the more it's developed, the bigger its potential is. And that's something fantastic, because at some point, like, you can maybe make some predictions like few years in the future, but really we have no clue how it's going to develop, because there's so many variables. Yeah. And like, you can apply it to so many things. People don't really understand it. They might think, oh, it's just, some risky way of investing, but it's really not. There's just so much depth into it that, it just amazes me, like, every single day, like, scrolling through it. It's like, it's nice to be part of the change,
It is. And we're starting to be able to scroll through categories. I don't know if you remember, like, even 2 years ago, you go to a website that's indexing projects or top lists, and realistically, it was just all about TVL. Like, we were just, what rank are they in the list? I don't want to plug a couple of the sites, but nowadays you have categories. You can actually start going through different types of lists. If you want to look at gaming, if you want to look at DeFi, if you want to look at layer ones, layer twos, there's so much that's evolving from those little seeds that were planted back in the day, and here we are. So it's really exciting. I was actually browsing some NFT projects the other day, and also again the categories, and it's just really exciting to see artists and content creators have this fresh, revived playground that they can really sink their teeth into, and it's a royalty rich playground. Like I can't imagine being an artist 100 years ago and making a painting and having someone use the new technology of photography, and like they take a picture of it and all this stuff, and you're like, oh wow, I just lost my proprietary rights, all my royalties, everything. You put a painting somewhere, it's gone. But artists today, they have the ability to actually own in a digital way the assets that they're creating, unlike ever before. I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, what I like is that it's because of technology, can just allow ourselves to be artists a bit more. Maybe people, full-time artists, they have such an easier life now with technology. As you said, they have the property rights right there. And also, if you want to support an artist and all this, you can do that way easier. You don't have to find that niche artist, somewhere, say in New York, selling its paintings on the street. You have it on the internet. You can look for him, and on the way you can also find other artists similar. And just because of that, you kind of become richer, like in a soul kind of meaning.
Absolutely.
It's really important as well for society. Exactly, connected.
I think you're touching on a good point there. Society, like we are evolving society in a way where we can, and it's a double-edged sword, because we're the most connected that we've ever been in our lives, yet I'm the most disconnected I've ever been in my life, because I don't have to leave my own environment in order to connect, if that makes sense. It's like I can go a week without leaving my apartment, and I mean, maybe that says something about me. Maybe I'm working too hard and I'm ordering too much, but
but at the same time, if you would do that like 20 years ago, then you would be like completely disconnected from society. But technology allows us to be in our own personal space, which is really needed for other people. The world can be overwhelming, and on top of that, still being connected with everyone, still talking to people, still socializing, just doing that from your own personal space, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really exciting. Putting people together. I'm not sure if you've done this with your community, but I'd love to throw an olive branch out there, or just an invite into anybody in your community. We love bringing people together of like minds and forming, congregation, if you will. Iron sharpens iron, and our ambassador program at Waves is one of these opportunities for a one-size-fits-all opportunity for community members to feel like they're joining a place where they belong, where there's real incentivized opportunity for them to use their everyday engagement, but get incentivized for it. So one of the differences that I try to create with our ambassador program is taking this model of where we're going with decentralized businesses and offering to the community what's being offered to centralized agencies or businesses, if you will. When I started building an ambassador program many years ago, and I know we're gonna have to edit this stuff because I'm not flowing the way I wanted to, but when I built the ambassador program for Waves, it was an opportunity to unite a decentralized ecosystem that had been built in a very, let's say, success-driven model. You had projects and communities that were sprouting up and being funded through a crowd-funded project, second largest crowd-funded ICO in history, next to Ethereum. Very successful. But as a result, you had about 5 to 6 years of people just building projects and having success, having community built around them, but no real harmonization, no real system in place for the communities themselves to feel like they were part of more than just one micro community. And I use the analogy of a carnival. When I first showed up at Waves, it was like, you had rides all over the place. And the concept of being able to go on more than one ride while being in the same vicinity, even knowing that they were connected with the same company, was quite challenging. There was no maps, there was no guides, there was no way of me finding all these things. So one of the things that we were really focused on is providing those solutions to the community, trying to create hubs and programs so that everybody can feel like they're part of one family. And the ambassador program is our way of doing that. It ties the ecosystem together with our most eager and enthusiastic supporters. It turns passive community members into active, engaged community members, and it also incentivizes them to do this. I've seen countless projects pop up over the last 6 months to a year where they're trying to build centralized community management systems. And if you think about that, it's completely backwards from where we're trying to go with decentralized business models with blockchain. They're trying to use smoke and mirrors to manipulate the engagement of projects and communities to feel like things are happening that actually aren't. And these are paid shill groups, even influencers are being manipulated in some fashion Some of them, unfortunately, aren't honest about, their payments and different things about what they're asked to do, and they fool community members into doing actions or being a part of something that's not quite what they're told it is. So our opportunity with our ambassador program is taking that approach and flipping it upside down to what we believe it should be, what I believe it should be, a decentralized, honest, and transparent community that's incentivized to engage no differently than other projects are paying shilling agencies and influencer groups to curate that engagement themselves. So let's say you have a shilling agency, they get $10,000 a month to create whatever engagement they're told to create. You take that $10,000 and you give it back to your community, because they're the ones that are doing real, honest engagement in the first place, organic engagement. So why not just take that fund and give it back to the people that actually deserve it instead of trying to fool them? And that's kind of the backbone of what I designed with our ambassador program at Waves. It's a way for us to reward our community no differently than other projects are rewarding businesses that are then fooling their communities. So it's taking back community as a service for our community itself and incentivizing it in a way where projects in the future will pay the ambassador program. It will become a DAO, so I'm very excited about that, but they will pay the DAO itself to access the community and have honest and fair engagement. And it's a really beautiful system where, we have a bounty list, and it's as simple as, what do you need done from the community? What are you willing to pay for the community for that engagement? And what's the KPIs, the quality benchmark that you would be happy with in order to pay that? And with that simple philosophy, we're really trying to create something that's very genuine, very unique and organic for our ecosystem. And, being a builder, being a long-term thinker, I actually believe that this can transcend beyond Waves and become a solution for the industry. So, that's one of the things that we offer our community, and we're hoping to evangelize into the industry, is that, we're building a really, really exciting and engaging, incentivized community that can take back really, what we deserve. Our data and our engagement is being manipulated right now, being paid for, and I think we should be paid for that engagement ourselves.
I mean, it sounds completely fair, and it's really great to hear that, because the community is so important. It quite often makes the project, alive. It keeps it going.
Yeah,
so
it's the lifeblood.
The community. Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Community is the lifeblood of decentralized businesses. And you're right. Without blood, I mean, how can we survive? And with that analogy, it touches on every single department. When you have a decentralized business model, community is every department's focus. They need community in order to survive. Marketing, business development, product, all of it. They all need community to be involved. And giving that real-time feedback and having them be part of that is truly the evolution of where I think marketing is going. And I joke with our marketing team that community is the new marketing, because, here you had the Web 2 mentality of traditional marketing, advertising, telling us what we want, fooling us with, detailed analogies on our emotional feelings, on what colors draw us to things, and what size logos and flowing designs. They were manipulating us to want something that we didn't know we wanted. And with Web3, it's a completely different mentality. Blockchain, Web3, decentralized business models, they want community to be involved. Rather than tell us what we want, ask us what we want. Allow us to help you design the product that we want ourselves, so that everybody feels like they're a part owner and they're winning together. And I think decentralized business models with tokenization allow us to feel that way as well. We're not just shareholders. We're so much more than that. There's coinism. I don't know if you've heard that term before, coinism.
Yeah, like, I couldn't heard it, but it's
like nationalism, term, right? but like for your bags, basically. And so you're loyal to who you basically invest in, and we see that time and time again. People want to help. They feel like they're actually involved, and that's another reason the ambassador program exists. People that want to get involved. Traditionally, back in the day, if you wanted to get involved with a company, I mean, you're basically just going to apply and try to get a job. In today's industries, in today's environment, we have so much opportunity for community to actually lend insight in a way that they feel like they don't have to quit their job and apply to be a part of something. They can just genuinely engage with this business and help them. And so that's another reason why we built the ambassador program, is because there's so many enthusiasts within the Waves ecosystem alone, not just, looking outward and trying to evangelize and bring new members into our ecosystem. we already had about 800,000 members in our ecosystem, and I'm still finding more. Like that's how fractioned our community was at one point. We didn't know how many members were there because there was just so many projects being built independently that their communities weren't really tied together. So when I came to Waves, I put together a social media map, and there's over 800,000 members in our ecosystem. And if you can imagine how many of those people actively want to support and be involved, the moment we opened the ambassador program, we have over 1,000 applications that we're behind on, just trying to get these ambassadors up to speed and empower them to go out and do exactly what they want to do, which is help. So it's really exciting. It's an opportunity. The excitement comes from the opportunity in today's positions that we're in as a business. Like Waves itself is a very unique player, in my opinion, in the industry. We've been around for 6+ years. We have a founder that is incredibly engaged and willing to stand in front of the community, answer questions. We've got a weekly AMA that he holds every Friday, that we've got a prize for 2,000 waves just for coming and asking some questions and being a part of the AMA. But this is something very refreshing. You don't find this very often. There are a few projects where their founders are very outspoken. I won't plug them, but we know who they are. They're quite outgoing on Reddit and on Discord and going to different universities, even some governments. And that's what we have here at Waves as well. We have a founder that really cares about our community, about the projects that are built in our ecosystem, and about trying to take blockchain to the next level in the real world applications. So every Friday, join him on YouTube. We have a community AMA, ask some questions, get your answers. It's unfiltered. Anything you want to ask him, he will read it and will answer it. It is actually very refreshing to see someone that doesn't filter what comes to them. They want genuine and honest engagement, and that's what we have at Waves. So one of the refreshing points there. But yeah, transitioning, talking a little bit about the ecosystem and the projects that we are supporting. One of the largest changes that we're making right now is PowerDAO. PowerDAO is going to be an incredible addition to DAOs itself. And I touched upon that when I mentioned the ambassador program becoming a DAO itself. Yeah. This is actually the eureka moment for me when I was vetting, who should I take this idea to? I really want to build this ambassador program DAO, this community management as a service, and nicknamed SandDAO, as it will be coming out in the future. So that's a little hint, a little sneak peek into where that's going. And now that I mentioned it, I've got to go a little further. SandDAO, the romance behind that is, a single grain of sand is very irrelevant, and it doesn't cause, it can cause discomfort, it can cause, irritation, but it doesn't have the ability to really withstand a huge force. But when you put all those grains of sand together and you form what is the beach that holds the ocean together and allows waves to come crashing down on them without flinching, this is the basis that we're trying to build, the harmonization for the ecosystem. And so the metaphor of being a sand DAO supporting the Waves ecosystem, that's kind of where the idea came from. And then the ambassador program itself, we've got a whole play on Waves. We are Atlanteans. We go deeper into the ocean. So we've got a promotional tier system worked out. Tier 1, you're a white pearl surfer. Tier 2, you're going to go down into free diving. You're an oxblood free diver. Then you go down into becoming a dive master, and then an aquanaut. And then, so we go deeper down into the ocean, playing on this whole theme. And it's the missing piece, PowerDAO. My apologies. So we have this whole analogy going down deeper into the ocean, and the missing piece was the governance behind that. So the ambassador program DAO is a whole system for community engagement and all the fun, exciting things that come with the front side of that business. But every DAO needs to look at the reality of how this DAO is going to work. And that's where PowerDAO really came in. It's the governance model that allows for child DAOs to be created with the governance model already taken care of. And if you want to dig into PowerDAO, we've got an airdrop coming very soon. And the goal is maximizing decentralization. So we're doing about 10% of the treasuries being airdropped. WCT holders are going to get a taste of this, which is fantastic because Waves community token holders have been asking for a really long time, what's going on with this token? What can we use it for? So we finally got some utility into that token. It's going to be part of the airdrop. But it's really a system, and this is a mouthful, so I am going to read this off the screen, but it's built to disintermediate the greatest intermediary on the planet, which is government, right? So this is a governance model for new DAOs to be created with governance taken care of. And it's quite a revolutionary idea. It's the first goal-based governance system on the market. So this is going to be quite nice. But the reason I touch on PowerDAO is because it was the missing piece to the ambassador program DAO. And so when I was speaking to Sasha about this, the eureka moment was, this is incredible. This is going to change the way that DAOs are formed. This is going to change the way that that they live. Like DAOs themselves, we've had a couple examples in the past where they didn't have the governance sorted out, and treasuries were manipulated, and a few DAOs collapsed. So we're looking to change a lot of what happened there with this new system, Power DAO, and really allow DAOs themselves to come over and potentially fix their DAOs. Because let's be honest, there's a few DAOs out there that have some issues, and they're looking for governance models, and they're looking for a bolt-on solution that's going to help them, and we're trying to provide that solution. So that's one of the few products that we've got coming out very soon. Next week is going to be the airdrop. Pardon me, this is going to be recorded, so I should just say Power DAO airdrop is going to be happening soon if it hasn't already happened. And yeah. But that's one of the products that we have coming out, and it pairs beautifully with the ambassador program. But not to just talk purely about community. Do you want to talk about some projects? Do you want to talk about some exciting things like S-Waves, some of our third-party projects?
Yeah, so if we could, this is something that really amazes me, is that the decentralized bridge.
Yes.
It's called the Decentralized Interoperable Bridge. Could you maybe get some details about it? Because it's really fascinating for me.
The bridge itself, it is very fascinating. The actual name, the DIB, as we're calling it, the Decentralized Interoperable Bridge. We could just call it DIB. It's going to enable cross-chain transfers of assets between any blockchain. And I will read this off the page so I don't make any mistakes. But it can reduce the fragmentation of liquidity caused by multiple chains and make Waves the center for all liquidity in DeFi. So the DIB enables that cross-chain transfer of assets between any blockchain, and will use Waves as its transport blockchain. So this is huge, and it's built by Pepe team. So this is a third-party team that has decided to build on Waves. An independent development team and they've just released a white paper detailing the creation. So we'll provide the links down in the comments. Don't forget to take a look at that. But this is a big step. I mean, we're trying to create some of the tools to alleviate Waves being dependent on other blockchains. We're trying to provide decentralized solutions for the entire industry. And that includes on-ramps and off-ramps and to our own ecosystem, so that we don't have to rely on centralized exchanges. We're really trying to push decentralization in every way, shape, and form, not just on the community side, but now, as we're talking about, on the development side. And it goes so much further than that. It's a mindset that we're trying to adopt. The entire ecosystem is being built in this way. And going back to some of the other examples here as well, we've got some of our projects are deeply invested in this mindset coming to fruition as well. And if we talk about a little bit more from Pepe team, liquid staking, right? S-Waves.
Right.
So the Pepe team, also an independent development team, they've launched S-Waves. It's a liquid staking token for Waves, the project. And let's just talk about Pepe for a second. The project is the fastest growing in the Waves ecosystem and the third fastest growing liquid staking protocol across all DeFi this month. So, I mean, it's great. And if you want to talk about APY, they're doing around 14%, no lockup period, which is rare. And, let's help the Pepe team grow liquid staking on Waves. S-Waves is going to be a nice solution, and it's going to pair with a lot of new solutions that we're coming out with as well. And one of those is Neutrino. I mean, elephant in the room. For those that don't know, USDN was designed to be a stablecoin, an algorithmic stablecoin. But given the recent trends in the market with some of this organized attacks, we were subjected to one of those attacks. But one of the difference makers here is many of those other players that got attacked, those other projects, those other blockchains, they're no longer around. And Waves, we are incredibly resilient. We are incredibly bright and willing to find solutions to overcome this. One of those solutions is turning Neutrino from a stablecoin into an index token. So we're releasing a new white paper. Neutrino's releasing a new white paper. It's outlining the transition from a stablecoin to an ecosystem index token, backed by a basket of Waves-based cryptocurrencies, right? And so the basket is going to be a collection of Waves ecosystem projects, Waves Exchange, Fires. We're going to be using the swap token, egg token. Even Waves Enterprise has stepped in, and they're posting $15 million worth of tokens to provide the backing for this index fund. And that's the truth. Like Waves, we care so deeply about our community and our ecosystem, is we put our money where our mouth is. We had a little bit of a problem We're trying to fix it. We're posting $15 million and trying to create an index token that will be something of utility again for the community. And the value here, so posting that $15 million, USDN will continue to provide a valuable utility to token holders with a soft peg price. That's the huge difference maker here. It's not a peg stablecoin anymore. We lost our peg. We realized that was something that we needed to address, and now we're soft pegging it. So the price can float between and above $1 based on the value of the collateral. So that's a huge, it's just a huge point in this change of trying to provide new solutions and better solutions for our community. We didn't want to sunset Neutrino. We didn't want to just take the loss. We wanted to make people whole. We wanted to figure out a solution to overcome these challenges and prove to the industry that we are incredibly resilient and not going anywhere. We're not a scam project. We're not trying to fool people into investing into new products that roll over other products. We're trying to provide real solutions in the industry for people that we care about. So that's one of the new solutions that we're providing. Neutrino, transitioning from a stablecoin into an index fund. That's really big. And Pepe team is helping us with this because of the liquidity staking with S-Waves, because of the decentralized bridge that we're building, DIB. These are huge progressions that are going to alleviate a lot of the pressures that we've been feeling in Waves.
Yeah, complete revolution, you can say, especially after the attacks. Bad stuff has happened to you, but you're owning it and still making, getting stronger. Just because
absolutely,
we're
not hiding from anything.
We're taking just getting that symbiotic. Sorry, just getting that symbiotic relationship with the community. It's really impressive because
thank you.
You could have gone down, but still you decided, okay, let's get that ship back up, and it worked. It's working perfectly fine. So that's really so much. Chapeau baf for you guys.
Yeah, chivalry is not dead. We're here for you. We will try to take the best path of, it's not about least resistance. It's about what's right, and it's about what we can do for our community to make them feel whole again, and to win back, the trust that we had at one point with them that we value so much.
So, yeah, I mean, as we talked earlier, community is literally the bloodstream, but also the community is actually gaining a lot, from supporting you. The whole ambassador program. It's something that it puts me in awe, really.
I appreciate that. Yeah, there is something for everybody, even influencers. So don't be shy. We've got something for you. But I appreciate that plug very much. The ambassador program is it's really my passion. It's my favorite place in blockchain. It's our largest supporters. It's our like-minded individuals. They're just the most friendly, most enthusiastic people that you spend your time with throughout the day. It's just such a refreshing drink of positivity in an industry right now where there is a lot of negativity. But we value our community so much. We not only provide opportunities for them to turn, being a passive community member into being an active community member with incentivization, but we want them to feel heard. Part of the reason why our founder does a weekly AMA with the community, we give away 2,000 waves at these things, so please come join us. But one of the reasons that we do that is so that the community feels like we're on the same level as them. We're not looking down from a pedestal or a tower. We are on the ground floor hearing these individuals. We want to shake hands. We want to listen to their concerns. And if you do have any concerns, and if you are on the fence with whether or not you should take a look at Waves, please come to one of these AMAs and ask your questions, or just listen and see how honest and transparent our founder is. And myself as well. I mean, I'm an open book. I'd love to have you reach out. We'll drop my social medias in the comments as well. Reach out. I do get flooded with a lot of messages, so if I don't respond immediately, my apologies. I don't have a social media manager yet. It's just me. But I'd love for you to join the ambassador program and allow me to mentor you and be a leader for you and provide, who knows, some incentivizations to things that you didn't even realize you could get paid for. And before you know it, maybe you're half time in blockchain, and maybe in some time you're full-time blockchain as a digital nomad.
Yeah, that would be, I guess, the greatest goal that one can seek. Especially in our times. The idea of being a digital nomad, especially with, crypto being involved in this, is just amazing.
It is amazing. I mean, I don't want to like broadcast too loudly how nice some of our lives are, but we have the ability to work remote from anywhere we want. All we need is our laptop or sometimes our phone. We get to meet people that are in the same space with the same interests, with the same attitudes. This is becoming a digital nomad. I can't even say I feel like a nomad. because it's like a camaraderie that comes with becoming a digital nomad, that other digital nomads are like, hey, how's it going? You just meet people all over the place, and it's so freeing. So if you're one of those people that you have a skill that you don't realize could be, incentivized and utilized is a more appropriate word. We'd love to have you take a look at our ambassador program. I would love to help change your life, and helping people is one of my favorite things to do. And the ambassador program is essentially, it's a help desk for our ecosystem. Projects come to us and they have needs. We ask them what they need, how much they're willing to pay for it, what's the KPI and the quality base for what they need, and we give it to our ambassadors. And it's that simple. And right now, everybody watching this AMA or this video right now, you're a social media advocate. You're on social media right now. And this is one of our largest focuses right now in the ambassador program, is finding social media focused individuals that want to earn. And it's as easy as making comments and just engaging. Things that you already do in real life, you don't realize have value. And the reason that, these smoke and mirrors that have been pushed in front of us for the last decade about our data being, given away, the modern internet, it's what's wrong today in digital economies. Our data is the commodity, and therefore you deserve to be paid for it. Data is the new oil. And so everything you do on your computer, on your phone, every single day has value, yet we never see it. So the ambassador program is my attempt at trying to reverse what I think is wrong in the ecosystem of the modern internet, and try to give back the engagement, the value of that engagement back to the community members themselves, rather than pay for it or use agencies or centralized businesses that fool the community into thinking that there's real engagement. We take that back, we give it to the community where it belongs. And so I encourage anybody watching right now to take a look at our ambassador program. We'll add the links in the comments below, in the bio below.
Yeah.
And feel free to apply. We're transitioning that ambassador program actually into more of an automated, a self-serve orientation process. Previously, we had a few steps where we had an interview. We decentralized the onboarding process for the ambassador program, but it became the bottleneck. We had, like I mentioned, over 1,000 applicants, and we just can't keep up with the interest. So I'm redesigning the onboard orientation process to be a self-serving process, so people can be even more relaxed about joining our ambassador program at their own pace. They don't have to worry about an interview in their host language or in English or in whatever language that they speak. They can just follow the guide, join the program, and do their first bounty, join the program, and be mentored by other ambassadors as well in your local regions. We're adopting, our local manager teams have all moved into the ambassador program to help mentor and guide regional ambassador teams. So it's one of the ways that I'm trying to really harmonize our globe, because Waves is a global project. As much as we have amazing interest in, and I'll give some shouts out to some of the countries that have really adopted Waves. Korea, for one, is our largest trading region for Waves. Turkey absolutely loves Waves. Thailand, Vietnam. I'm Canadian, so we can throw Canada in the mix there. We're really hoping to expand into the US industry as well for some of the developers there. But Russia, that's one of our largest as well. Some of our top developers come from that region, and some of our projects are hosted there. Waves Ducks, I'll give a little plug to Waves Ducks. Our top NFT project in our ecosystem is an incredible community of enthusiastic supporters. It's one of the best communities to go into in the Waves ecosystem, and I say that with a little bit of a grin, because they really are friendly, and a lot of our top ambassadors are Waves Ducks supporters as well. They made a duck of me, which is absolutely hilarious. And so it's just a really fun ecosystem community to be a part of. But we're harmonizing and we're bringing that all together. And so it's not just, the Waves Ducks supporters aren't just in Waves Ducks anymore. They're starting to find that carnival analogy. We're bringing all those projects into the same space so that our community can walk around and participate and have fun with all the rides that are available in our ecosystem without having to leave the park. And I'm not even sure if I finished that analogy earlier when I talked about the carnival, about projects being scattered around. I forgot to talk about the second half, where it's like the solution, bringing those projects into view and actually having an amusement park that people feel like, wow, look at all this. And that's what Waves is. We have over 13 plus projects within our ecosystem that are core supported. And this isn't even, like, Pepe Team is a new team that's come as a third party team. Just to give them another plug, but there's a lot going on in this ecosystem. That's a lot of dApps. And, talking a little bit more, PowerDAO is going to be one of the most exciting DAOs coming out. I will be using PowerDAO as the parent DAO to form the ambassador program DAO, becoming a child DAO, using PowerDAO as our governance system. So right there is a real world use case in terms of, thinking about how can I use DAOs. If you're somebody watching this video right now that is DAO focused or part of a DAO, this is something for you to take a look at, because it could be one of the solutions, or maybe a complementing feature, a complementing pairing that helps take your DAO to the next level in a way that maybe you didn't realize it needed. So, I mean, yeah, and going towards that, more towards the path towards decentralization. This is one of our main mindsets, and I think I talked a lot about that, but having it down as one of the main focuses for our team. Waves Association DAO, that's something that I should mention. So talking about DAOs, let me including, okay, so given the stat of recent centralized exchange insolvencies, again, I'm reading off my notes. So if you see my eyes moving, I'm not trying to fool anybody. I can say a lot of fancy words, but some of these are a little bit of a mouthful. But given the spat of recent centralized exchange insolvencies, Waves revealed its plans to accelerate towards full community control of its ecosystem. And I'll say that again, we're moving towards full community control of our ecosystem at Waves. We're including the creation of the new Waves Association DAO that will be responsible for fully decentralizing all projects. Waves team, we're committing to donate $10 million of our ecosystem projects funds into making that change happen as well. So if you're doing the math, that's $25 million so far that we've posted to try and solve issues that we see in the industry, not just in our ecosystem, but the industry. We're trying to provide solutions. So that one's actually really exciting. Trying to decentralize our entire ecosystem. I mean, talk about a passion project, right? Like what founder, what owner would come out and say, I want to give this away? And that's what we have here at Waves. We have a team that's so dedicated to community, to the industry, that we want to give it back to the community. And it's no different. The ambassador program that I'm talking about, I've designed it to be a DAO in the long term that is run and owned by the ambassadors that participate in it. So it's a commonality across our team that we really are trying to help, and we're fully transparent. You can't have DAOs without transparency, and that's another reason why we think that Power DAO, the ambassador program DAO, the Waves Association DAO, these are huge beacons of hope in terms of where Waves is going ecosystem.
Yeah, I think you guys figured it out correctly, right? Because you're trying to bring everyone together, and in unity there's a lot of strength, just like in your analogy with the sand. It's really amazing, because if you're not taking yourself advantage of technology and what blockchain can offer you, someone else will, and you are basically giving back that power to the community to take as much benefit as possible from it, which is just fantastic. And on top of that, again, that symbiotic relationship, you are powering the community is powering you, and it's just growth, really, which is just beautiful.
Thank you so much. One of the things we pride ourselves on, actually, as the Waves team, we are part of the community, because we are the community. And that's one of the mindsets that I always make sure that I'm in. I'm not above the community. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm part of that community, and I'm trying to get us to do things together so that we all succeed together.
Yeah, I mean, that's lovely, because a lot of people are just talking, but you're actually putting just actions into it. Just like with the ambassador program, you can literally be part of Waves that way so easily.
Absolutely.
It's almost seamless, right?
It is seamless.
Automated. And
it's going to be an automated self-serve system. Join, and you can participate in any way you see fit. Like if you're a content creator or a video creator, we've got tons for social media right now. Any social media platform, essentially, I'm including bounties for, and it's just going to expand as we grow. Right now, we're really focusing on social media, but as we develop and as we change the tides and the sentiment, we will be bringing in more modules into that program as well. It's designed to have a BD team. It's designed to access the marketing, to help with product, something for developers. It really will be a one-stop shop in terms of community engagement as a service.
It sounds wonderful, really.
Yeah.
All the plans that you have for the whole ecosystem is just wonderful, with Waves as well being in the center.
Thank you very much.
It really will work perfectly.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we can recap on is our end of year manifesto. we're talking about all these exciting things. And, a lot of this was created in 2022, and here we are in 2023. And Sasha, our founder, he does an end of year Waves manifesto every year. And so this is something, it basically outlines in our current form, what our focuses are, what our opinions are. And he says some pretty loud and bold statements like, modern crypto is dead. And that's a statement directly from Sasha. And I say modern crypto because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but his statement is crypto's dead. The way that crypto is used in its current form is dead, and Waves will pilot towards building projects with real world value. So Sasha is outlining 4 key projects being built on Waves in 2023 and the roadmap. These 4 projects are very, very juicy. Let's just say that. One of them, S Waves, is not one of those. That's the Pepe team. But these 4 projects, I don't even want to allude towards them. I want people to come and see this manifesto. These 4 projects, one of them, the ambassador program DAO, Sand DAO, it's very exciting. I don't want to spoil those 4, but the end of year manifesto, I do encourage you all to take a look at, because that statement, crypto is dead in its modern form, we will back up that statement. We truly believe that the way that the ecosystem, not our ecosystem, the industry, is manipulated with no regulation, these organized attacks from short sellers and all this stuff happening right now, it puts the average person at a disadvantage. And putting myself in the position of an average trader, how can you go into an area like this feeling like it's fair? It's not. It's manipulated, and in its current form right now, we don't think that it's going to thrive. There has to be some changes, and we at Waves, we want to provide those changes. So we're providing 4 key projects that are going to be coming out in 2023 that we believe are going to help drive this change into the revolution that we've needed for so long in crypto and blockchain, to help us get to the next level of mass adoption with proper. I don't want to say regulation, because I'm not sure regulation will allow us to go where we need in the current conditions, because we have a lot of pushback from traditional industry not wanting to lose their positions. But I think these 4 projects they're worth noting to anybody that wants to be a digital nomad or is a digital nomad, that these are solutions that like-minded digital nomads are coming up with and trying to push our industry forward so that we don't lose control of it.
Yeah, I think the crypto space in general needs projects like Waves, because as you said, crypto is dead, right? And you need to start rebuilding it anew, which is really fantastic, because crypto dying is technically a really good opportunity to become stronger with it, get some new foundations, and just as you guys are doing, putting everything, the most important and key factor on the community being the building block. That is just how it's going to work, and it should work from now on. So really beautiful stuff, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Building inward out, starting with the community, focusing on the community. Keep your eyes and ears open for a lot of these fun events that we've got coming out. I myself, with my team, we're going to be doing weekly engagements on Friday in our social medias. We've got the weekly AMAs with Sasha. The ambassador town halls are so much fun. We hold those on the first Thursday of every month. We just have so many events coming out, and that's just internal team stuff. Like there's so much in our ecosystem for people to engage with that don't have to spend money to do it. I mean, we're in a bear market. We don't want you to feel like you've got to pay to play. It's completely the opposite. We want you to feel comfortable and get to know us and get to know the ecosystem and the projects, and save your money for when the bull comes, and we'll make some money together. It's we really just want to provide the environment, a safe, honest, and friendly environment for education. And this is one of the new things. We just pushed out our new, dare I say, rules and guidelines for our community. We didn't use the word rules when we wrote the blog post, because nobody likes to be told what to do. But these are guidelines in the ways that we can adopt and protect a new community identity. And that's one of my goals, is creating a new community identity in Waves. I just joined Waves about 6 months ago, and I've been hard at work building processes and systems and the ambassador program. But one of the things that I'm really happy that we just pushed out is our ecosystem guidelines towards the community identity. And this outlines, please visit our blog. We've got our own blog. It's Waves. Let me just find the blog.
All the links will be in the description, guys.
Yes,
so
links will be in the description. blog.waves.tech. Have a look. But our new ecosystem community guidelines, it outlines everything that we're trying to adopt in our social media accounts, like all our platforms. We want honest, good behaving individuals that are friendly and transparent, pushing education, and it also talks about the type of people that aren't welcome in our community, the bad actors, the trolls, the bitter bag holders, the shillers, the bots. We're just trying to really protect our community and build and identify what our community identity is. And I think, when you don't have guidelines like this and you go 6 years as a decentralized ecosystem with no guidelines, you get a little bit of bad behavior that starts to snowball. And if it's not kept in check, other people think it's common, and you kind of have a runaway train with toxic behavior. So if you are one of those people watching this video right now that think, I tried that before and I didn't really feel like it was a good environment, rest assured, we're making changes every single day. And this just came out on the 26th. I believe we posted it on January 26th. We posted this new blog. It's being pushed out by all our moderators. All our projects are following these guidelines now, and any new project that comes in will be following these guidelines. And this is designed to protect a harmonious, educational, friendly, supportive, positive environment, because that's what we really need right now in a bear market, is somewhere that we can feel like we're not going to be harassed or insulted, but just the opposite, built up and made to feel like you are part of something that you value and that you want to come back every single day to be more and more welcomed into that community.
Yeah, I think, that's the key value for a community. You want a community where you can grow, an environment in general, both for the project, both for you as a person, in that community, and as a community as a whole. All these factors are all adding up, but it can be really easily messed up if you have, like, as you said, some bad guys in there.
So it just takes one guy or girl. Exactly. It just takes one person to create a very unfriendly environment. And so with these new guidelines, it gives our moderators and it gives our other community members, especially our ambassadors, gives them the backbone to stand up to these people and say, this is not permitted in our ecosystem. And it's not. And as the head of community at Waves, I'm telling you right now, we are changing our community identity to be friendly, inclusive, supportive, positive. I've said all these keywords here, but it's meant to be someone that you're proud to be involved with. We want people to feel proud and trusting that we are providing solutions for them that they can put their name towards.
That's it. I feel like you guys want, the genuine interest and curiosity of people to allow them to, expand that interest and grow as people. And that's just fantastic that you guys putting all these guidelines in place. You really try to make it as good as possible for your community, which is crucial.
Yeah, thank you so much. The community is everything to us, and we appreciate them so much. So everybody watching this video right now, we'd love for you to join our community. Telegram is the main place, but we just launched our new Discord. This is a shameless plug. I worked so hard on this Discord with my teammate Morton. We and several other people, I'm not going to discount anybody there, but we've revamped and relaunched our Discord as of January 1st. We gutted the whole thing, all the categories, all the channels. We redesigned it to be an opt-in role Discord that has industry best practices. So I'm part of a lot of NFT projects. I took the best of the best out of all of these NFT project Discords, because NFTs and Discord is like, peanut butter jelly. Like those two go together right now. Every NFT project uses Discord for their community, and it's fun, and they have a lot of engagement, and they have really cool channels. So I wanted us to have the same type of place at Waves. So if you join our Discord, go into the opt-in roles, you can select all types of roles that you want to be a part of. The gamer role, the developer role. If you want to talk alpha news, you can go into the alpha chats and give your tips and stuff. If you want to do price and speculation, we're trying to hive off, and this is a good point. We're trying to hive off all the price and speculation conversation and put them where it belongs, in price and speculation channels. And we built that in Discord as our first test to try and isolate this type of behavior, because I don't know if you've ever gone into a new blockchain social media room and all you see is price talk. It's very off-putting. It's not welcoming, and it's not really the first thing that you want to see when you go into a project lobby, is people speculating on what they think is going to happen with the token price. It really has its own place. It needs to be discussed, because obviously traders and people want to know. A lot of people are in blockchain and crypto for money, so there's a place for that. But most people don't want to be inundated and flooded with price and speculation talk every time they're in a channel. So the new Discord, we've got a role for that. You can talk alpha news, you can talk price and speculation. We've got an economy bot that's in there that you can collect your daily and gamble a little bit with some of the games and stuff. So it's really fun, and I encourage people to join our Discord to check out that new design. And then also we've got our community hub that's going to be coming out soon, which is going to be our one-stop shop for the whole ecosystem. One of the things that I put a lot of effort into is finding all those projects that unfortunately weren't on our radar or my radar, that weren't presented to me as, this is one of our projects. And just to give a little insight into that, there was one day where I found 60,000 members in a social media group that nobody knew were there because it wasn't mapped out, right? And obviously the project knew they were there, and the community members knew that they were there, but it was like, okay, that's 60,000 members that we could support better with better tooling, and we can bring them into the ambassador program, and we can strengthen our ecosystem. And I used the analogy earlier, iron sharpens iron. We are stronger in numbers, and we were fractioned before, and that has all changed. We are harmonizing, we are decentralizing, but at the same time uniting our ecosystem. As if you could do that. It's kind of an oxymoron a little bit to say you're decentralizing but centralizing. So I'll say uniting instead of the word centralizing. But that's the truth. I mean, we're trying to give back to the community, but at the same time making the community feel like we are one.
And I think that's definitely a good way to go. As you mentioned, with Discord, I think there's a lot of power in Discord communities, because there's way more integration than on Telegram, for example. And, you guys structured it in a way that everyone can find all the information that they want, have the roles that they want. And, that's just beautiful, because you need that kind of structured way. And as you said, it's all about uniting. So you want the people that share the same interests to be, grouped in the same roles, which they can choose. And then, they can meet like-minded people and, talk with them about a project, which is, really, self-developing in that sense. Fantastic.
Yeah. And we want to have some fun too. Like, I love having fun. Who doesn't? So let's have games nights, and we're going to do monthly games nights where we host and just have fun and just blow off some steam, because, life can be so serious sometimes, and sometimes you just have to relax, take a break, and realize, life is short, and what's the point if you're not having fun? So we're going to be doing some games nights. I'll incentivize those. I'll create some prizes. We're internally deciding on what games. There's just so many games, and we had a fun day the other day where we went into Discord and we tried the little pop-up activities. They were fun, and I encourage our ambassadors and the rest of our community members to dig into those. But we're going to be doing some real games, some big fun tournaments, and so keep your eyes and ears open for that as well.
Yeah, definitely go into the Discord and Telegram, which, of course, the link you will guys find in the description waiting for you, is the best bets. The first step of, getting into the Waves community. And as mentioned, take advantage of the benefits that technology is offering. Go ahead and meet like-minded people, and that definitely will pay off for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Visit our blog. Shout out to Matt, who's our head of content. He worked so hard on this blog. It's a home hosted blog because we wanted to be able to offer, multiple languages in the future and really focus on the global outreach. Like, that's one of the things that we've put a lot of effort into is restructuring our regional teams in a way that we feel they can grow, right? We had a little bit of a stale period there where some like some of the regions, they were formed and they kind of had their own little thing going on, but they weren't really globally supported in a way where ecosystem community members could find them in a very quick and easy way. So Discord is going to be one of those ways where we've created regional options for you to opt in and find your region. And if there's Telegram, if there's a Reddit and all these different things, you'll find it eventually. But we wanted to provide a place. You'll find it eventually through the Discord. We wanted to provide a place where, a Spanish speaker could just come in and say, where do I look? And the Discord is our opportunity to expand into all regions, build those regional teams. We do have regional ambassador teams that are quite strong. We are expanding, and I'll give a sneak peek. The Philippines, we've got a new group coming for the Philippines. We've got some ambassadors now who can support the growth of the community in that region. Another reason why our ambassador is so valuable, it gives us the ability to, isolate and give opportunities to people that want to help. We can hear our ambassadors that rise up through the promotional tiers. We have a tier 3 ambassador who wants to lead the Filipino community. So let's do it. We have a trusted individual in a promotional system who's incentivized to do these things. It's a perfect formula for growth. And that's what we've put a lot of time and effort into, myself especially, is building these systems to help us grow in a way that is really well thought out, and it's not going to stunt, right? Because that's the last thing you want, is to grow in a region that was unorganized, without foresight, and have it stunt its growth because it hit a ceiling or a wall where you weren't anticipating that. So we've built a very rinse and repeat process for expansion into all regions that will lead towards the regional ambassador manager becoming a contracted community lead. So again, providing jobs for people in crypto, the ambassador program is your on-ramp into getting into the industry. And I will, again, shameless plug, I've got over a half dozen individuals that are working right now very happily in the industry that started out as just, tier 1 ambassadors in one of my previous programs. So I want to say a dozen. I'm just not sure how many of them are active right now. I know a couple of them took a little time off, but I mean, the numbers, they speak for themselves. Like even just one person getting an opportunity to change their life is enough for me to go to bed with a smile on my face. I really enjoy helping people. So if you're someone out there that is looking for a change, an opportunity, part-time, as you go, like it's on your free time. So it's a part-time, fun, volunteer-based. That's the key word here. It's a volunteer-based program. You don't have to do anything. Nobody's going to be getting mad at you. There's no minimum quota. We just ask that you're active and that if you're going to take a break, you let us know so that we don't think that you left. But it's just such a relaxed way of getting involved and getting your toes wet in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys are uniting everyone despite the language barrier on both the global scale, but also on local scale. And, you guys can definitely take advantage of what Waves is offering. You can, as I mentioned, you can become a digital nomad if you're putting enough, will into it. If you really want it, the opportunities will come to you. And yeah, it's just a matter of, be part of that active community and get rewarded for it. Just fantastic stuff.
Exactly. And it pairs, going back to PowerDAO, giving us the governance side of what will become our SandDAO. Ambassadors themselves, when they rise up, and this is another sneak peek, not even a lot of the ambassadors know this, but our tier 4 ambassadors, and there is a tier 5 that you get, like you're like the royal ambassador. There's only one. It's voted in by their peers. You get a huge bonus for getting voted in as the tier 5 royal ambassador. But tier 4 is going to be elected to the governance committee of the PowerDAO governance model to govern the SandDAO. And that's a huge sneak peek, because it's not just becoming an ambassador and having fun. There's a future in being an ambassador where you're actually a governing member of the DAO itself that I plan on being wildly successful in the industry. It is a very genuine, organic, and I want to say unique business model, because we are going up against, and I've seen it. I've seen over a dozen projects that are trying to solicit us to use centralized bounty management systems. And I straight up look at them as competitors, because we want to decentralize this. I don't want to use a centralized software that makes it simple and one person can manage it. That takes away tons of jobs, and it takes away decentralization. And for what? Just so that you can centrally manage something like a Web2 company and just fire 4 people and just have one guy casually be an ambassador manager running it through a software. That's just so tasteless in my mouth. Like, it just has no substance. It's fake.
Yeah. I think, recognizing the engagement of the community gives the whole project a soul. And that's what we want, That's what's appealing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it there. Like, the community, we are looking to reinvigorate our soul, and the ambassador program is that fire that allows us to really live.
That's it. Even though crypto's dead, Wave's soul is still there, right?
Crypto is dead. That's a loaded statement, but it's a conversation starter. I'll tell you that much. You go and you talk to someone that's a crypto enthusiast and you say crypto is dead, you're going to get ready for a conversation, but it's a great way to start one. And it's a great way to just emphasize, it's not dead forever. It needs to be revived in a way, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, with only the good parts coming with us. We need to transform.
Yeah, reincarnation is definitely
reincarnation. Yes, the path.
So make sure, guys, to check out Sasha's end of year Waves manifesto. It's also going to be in the comments, in the description, because I think it definitely is a really important. You can go on it right there, and you guys, again, starting the conversation with saying crypto's dead, you can actually put your money where your mouth is. You can actually argue about it. And, there's definitely a lot of sense in that. So make sure to check it out, guys.
Yes, please do. I think I must have been mistaken earlier because I wasn't sure if the manifesto came out yet, but I've watched this manifesto because I just opened the link and Sasha has his Santa hat on. So yes, please, please click on that link, watch the manifesto. You'll hear about those 4 projects, and check out our blog, because everything that we've talked about today, mostly everything, the Discord, the new guidelines, the pathway to decentralization, powered out airdrop details, these are all going to be in the blog, and it would make Matt very happy because he put a lot of effort into that blog. So please do check it out.
Yeah, everything will be again in the description for you guys. And yeah, I guess that was a very fantastic AMA. Thank you so much, John, for
Thank you
giving
very
us so
much.
much insight about the project. Some sneak peeks as well, which are really fantastic and interesting. So much stuff going on with Waves, and you guys definitely should not miss out on it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me today. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for your community for taking the time and being a part of this. And I hope to see you in the near future.